real simple. No pictures.
John Berquist here, Soma Games. This is week 4 of the Ultimate Coder Ultrabook Challenge. Gavin, what do we have for this week?
Well, we're finally, looks like feature complete. So
Sweet.
everything is in the game, at least in some sort of skeletal form.
Yeah, it's looking really good.
There's lots of polish left to do, lots of testing, lots of bugs, obviously. But it looks like the core of the game is there, and that's really good.
And at this point, Gavin and I were just thinking it's good to go back and see what is this contest about. So at the start of the contest, we were told we had to basically have 2 things. The first is the app had to be take advantage of the essence of the Ultrabooks, which is this ability to have something mobile, but also with the power of a workstation, right?
Yeah.
And the second one is to have one or more of the features that are highlighted in the Ultrabooks, which I think we've got CPU performance, graphics, security, touch and sensor technology, and app APIs. So we've taken advantage of a couple of those, probably more than a couple.
Yeah.
Definitely touch.
Definitely. This is a touch game through and through.
Yep. And CPU and performance and graphics. We've really pumped things up from the iPad version that we're developing. And so, like I said, you get into the deep part of this contest and you kind of start to forget these things. So it was good for us to remind ourselves, yes, we're on track. And we're also looking into some other things we might want to do. This week we were looking at Steve Chippy Payne's video that he did when he got his Ultrabook. He's one of the judges in the contest. And we'll put his website link in the blog post. But this video was really cool. Gavin and I sat down and watched the whole thing. And Chippy did a great job of showing how we're still in this place where apps and even the Windows 8 interface is still taking advantage of the touch screen interface. And so one was the thumb scrolling, or using your thumbs on the sides of the Ultrabook to get around, to look through things, to get from app to do all sorts of different tasks. And so we were looking at that thinking, we could really tweak our UI and play around with the robots and the user interface just to match that up and actually use that interface better.
Yeah, he did a really good job of highlighting a lot of the trends that are emerging. The consumerism where you have your thumbs on the side, the dual keyboard and touch guys, and then the people who are like totally optimized for touch that are all over up in here.
And so this next week we're probably going to play a little bit with that. Another feature that we want to explore, probably won't happen in this first version, but it'll hopefully happen in the next version, is a way to do tutorials. And one idea that Gavin had was to have a question mark icon. Whereas you touch that, you could drag in basically the app pauses and goes into tutorial mode. And you can pull it down on a robot, on an item, on a monster, and it actually shows you what that's about. Maybe even talks to you or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just another way we would use the Ultrabook Touch. And actually all of our touch devices.
Yeah, and Chippy mentioned that in his video of how touch, the advent of touch has introduced the loss of hover, which for a long time has been used to provide tooltips. You hover over something and it gives you a moment before you commit to an action to see what does this do. And so it just makes sense to do something similar with touch, except like you said, with the question mark. And I feel like this could be something that could be used from everywhere in touch. You see a question mark, you drag that question mark onto any element you want, and it automatically gives you a description of what that element does.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense.
Yep. So we have more to say, but obviously we want to keep this short. And that's a wrap up for week 4. Check out what we have for week 5. In a week and a half, Chris Skaggs and I will be at IDF. If you're down there, please come find us. We'll be all over the place. We'll be having a app lab where we'll be demonstrating some live coding HTML5 projects, and we'll put the details on the website for that. So thanks for tuning in, and definitely like us, or vote for us on the Ultimate Coder page. And we will see you on week 5. Ah.